It's the DNVR Avs pod, and we're so happy to have you. Food getting delivered to us here at Family Sports Center. Tiffany making an appearance right on camera. I mean, come on. This is what we are talking about. I love that. I mean, I love it. That's how we rock here at Family Sports Center on day number, is it day 3?
Nope.
Day 3.
Day 3.
For us, it's like day 12 at this point. With the rookie face-off
it's blended with Los Angeles into here. Like the whole thing is just kind of like a thing. Glad to have you guys along. Nick Gismondi, Gizmo. We got AJ. We got Rudo. And, of course, we have Eric McQuall with us on this one. Tiffany joining us to spin the knobs and turn the dials over there like it's a radio show. I don't think there's any. Well, there are dials. There's some dials. And buttons, knobs, things. There's things going on over there. Tiffany's handling it. And we are going to break down everything that happened today. Today was a fun one, to be quite honest with you, because it was different than what we've seen out of the Avs training camp-wise before. Eric, I'll start with you on this one. You kind of had an inclination this was coming yesterday and kind of teased it a smidgy.
Greatest, I'm the happiest I've been in a few days. You know, when I see a little bit of scrimmage like that, I love it. I think they planned this right. You know, first couple days, put a lot of work in, a lot of hard work, a lot of systems, a lot of, implementing stuff. And, you want to hit the pavement running right away, right? And that's what they've been doing. And then it was fun. It was fun today to see some scrimmage. It was fun to see some fun. When I say fun, it's like the shootout and all that kind of stuff. So, great day. I love being here today. So it was awesome for day 3. And I think that, it was like hump day kind of. And, tomorrow's like almost like just the day before the first game, and maybe getting the special teams. Maybe they're going to do tomorrow, I would assume.
We talked to Girard. That's coming up in the show today. We got a little something from Miles Wood. He had a fun little moment, and then of course we've got Brannstrom joining us as well, and then we'll hear from Coach. Coach talked about that a little bit today, though, AJ, in the press conference. He mentioned that he wanted to, the first few days were about establishing and teaching, the system in parts. And then today was okay, let's see if they can think for themselves. There'll be a little bit more of that teaching tomorrow. But your thoughts on the format of today and a little bit of hockey happening.
I think it's a lot better than in past years where, in past years the third day of training camp has been used where they put the string out and they all skate around and do a bunch of conditioning. And the first year, it was so intense, a bunch of guys got soft tissue injuries, hamstrings, groins, things like that.
A lot of hip flexors.
Yeah, there were a bunch of injuries that year, and so they were like, "Ooh, we should scale that back." And they've been over the years, they keep scaling it back more and more and getting into more of the hockey stuff. Look, let's be real here. Some of their evaluation hasn't been very good at times. I'm happy to see them put these guys into some hockey situations and go off of that.
And that's, I think, part of the difference with this year. Most of the training camps in Jared Bednar's era, it's been 1 to 3 guys battling for one spot.
Yeah.
You're talking about 7, 8, 9 forwards battling for 3 or 4 spots this year in training camp. There's a lot more to look at when you look at analyzing these players. And you just do not get the same stuff from drills that you do out of something like a scrimmage.
Well, we have a 10 deep on defense.
Yep.
That you have to sort out kind of a pecking order here. We pretty confident Jacob McDonald and Callie Rosen aren't going to be on the opening night roster, but everybody's in competition here.
Yep.
And we saw that today. The way that they split up their groups, the way that it's 10 deep on defense. That's a lot of bodies to sort through.
Few big storylines that obviously came into this, and will continually yarn them through the conversation today, because I think that's what all of us really want to know about. Let's start with what I think is the biggest one, or one of the biggest ones. Calum Ritchie. He did play in the scrimmage today, so he was part of the quote-unquote, call it, main group, but saw him get a little bit of a curveball, and I was waiting for this, and I was hoping for this, but that curveball being that they threw him up on wing.
Yeah, next to Casey Mittlestadt, giving him a little bit more opportunity. We talked about how that might be a spot for him, because right now the center spots are pretty solidly spoken for unless they want to make a real change here. So seeing him on wing, but seeing him on Casey Mittelstadt's wing, not Pierre-Edouard Bellemar's wing. let's put skill with skill and see how it kind of gels together. And this was Cal Ritchie's best day.
Let's talk about Cal Ritchie in that wing spot. First of all, A, how did he do? This is what I want from both of you. And then B, what do you think the thinking behind that was? So I'll take your advice on how we thought he did, and then E, throw that management hat on and coach hat on and tell me what you think the play was and what message that's sending.
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me and Ritchie is you looked at him at the rookie faceoff and you saw him see the game really, really well. Was very good at setting players up, very good at finding the open ice and understanding where the puck needs to go and where he needs to go. And yes, this is a scrimmage. This is not a full-on 100% NHL game. But it was still there. All of those reads, all of that intelligence on the ice was keeping up at an NHL training camp scrimmage, and he was making the correct plays and even setting up quality opportunities for his teammates as high as, call it the second line, whatever. There were only 3 lines on each team in the scrimmage, so it was a little bit weird. But for whatever percentage of speed you want to call this scrimmage, Ritchie proved that he can do it at this pace.
I think you just said it perfectly. But what he's doing is again, we talk about checking boxes. That's what he's doing. He's just checking boxes since last week at rookie camp. Remember, we said he's going to have to come in here with an open mind, and I think the staff has an open mind. We saw it today. It just can't just have him at center. You know what I mean? And again, it's a tough position to learn. Everybody adapts differently. He was never here last year, so this is all an assumption. As management, as development staff, you could sure bet that Bednar talked to Brian Wilsey, which probably saw him the most this past year, and say, "Hey, does this kid adapt? You think he wants to, can he adapt quickly? You know what I mean? Because this is the NHL. There's no babysitting here, unless you're a bad team that's not going to make the playoffs. This is not. Again, there is some sort of San Jose Sharks. There you go.
Yeah.
Macklin and Will Smith and those guys. Sure. There's no time like that here. So you have to figure it out. What we all know about the handcuff situation with Val and Gabe and all that stuff. So you have an asset that's got some skills. We said it, and we'll say it again. If they can surround them with an adult, like they did Wyatt Johnson in Dallas, it's not far-fetched what you saw today. Mittlestadt. I'm not saying Mittelstadt's the adult. We love his two-way play. We love the way. But think further down the road. Is it 2 games? Is it 3 games?
Yeah.
That Lekkonen's going to be back? I don't know. They know way more than we do, right? So if you're putting that adult right there, it goes in what we've been trying to say all along. You might have something. The kid wants to learn. He seems to be a sponge. He's out there every day. You got to go in there if I'm his agent. They want you to be the backup goalie. You say, yes. Where do I go? They want you to play right wing. Where do I go? They want you to play left wing. Where do I go? And that's the attitude you have to have, and he seems to have it right now.
And the 9-game trial for Cal Ritchie would line up very closely to the end of Val Nichushkin's suspension.
I think it's game 13 that Nichushkin.
Yeah, exactly. So they know that, hey, we could get a 9-game look at Cal Ritchie here, and then by that point they would hope that they have some kind of inkling on what's going on.
At least an idea. Yeah.
And if they're going to get him back at whatever, we'll say game 13. They get him back there, then maybe they aren't. Maybe they're like, "Hey, cool, we got the 9 games out of Cal Ritchie. We unless he blows the doors off everybody, maybe they're just like, we'll see you next year. You'll definitely be part of this." Or they just try and stack it up.
I will say one thing is interesting. Yes, Cal Ritchie did play wing in the scrimmage today, but he also worked on face-offs a whole bunch after the scrimmage with Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. So,
guy played wing for 1 day in 1 scrimmage. They still obviously want to view him as a center long term, but in the immediate, how he's going to get his feet wet in the NHL, we've been saying since the Bellemare PTO, the cleanest path is at wing. That's where they have openings. Yep. It just makes the most sense.
Was very excited to see him working with Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. I said that last week, that was something that I anticipated happening, and I was really excited. They spent 15 minutes at the end of practice this morning working on it.
Yeah.
I just want to add one more thing about the center thing. It's one thing to say, and we've said it, and I've said it, let's put Ross Colton on the wing, right? You know what I mean? Sure. But I'll tell you one thing. If you look at their lineup, and you look at the few pieces missing in the start, It's hard to break up that wonderful line of Wood, O'Connor, and Russ Colton.
for sure.
It's going to be a comfort blanket for Jared.
That's
Bednar,
my
of
point.
course.
So
We
it's
all know
hard
it.
to just say, "Oh, let's just put him." It's hard.
Yeah.
Like we all know how coaches are; they're creatures of habits, and this is a very safety. It's a safety blanket.
Yeah,
It is.
You would be trading the certainty of one line for the uncertainty
That's
of
right,
two.
and that's the hard part. So you have to see what you got with you, and that's why you have training camp. That's why you have preseason games. That's why I love the fact that they threw Ritchie on the wing today and see, hey, how do you react?
Give him both roles.
Yeah, why not? There might be.
In the preseason.
Absolutely.
Play him at both.
Hey, same
Nothing wrong with
game.
that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Same
Absolutely.
game. When you are versatile like that, the same game. You can play some shifts on the wing. You can play some shifts at center. It's all good.
Hey, as we see now, Wings take a lot of face-offs. He can still do
True.
Absolutely.
He took
That
a couple
part
in
of
the
it.
scrimmage. He beat Belmar in a face-off in the scrimmage.
twice, back-to-back.
Talk
Neither,
about
neither.
talk. I was going to get to Belmar as well. I was going to go Girard first, but let's go Belmar right now since we're kind of talking about him. He has, in my opinion, and I imagine yours as well, it's a done deal. It's no longer a PTO. They'll sign the contract. He will be here. That's your fourth line center. No question about it. Looks like an NHLer. Talks like an NHLer. Coach, as you'll hear later on, is very high on him, as he should be. He's in great shape. He wants to be here. He's accepted a leadership role, a veteran role. He's helping out the young kids. It's semantics at this point.
Pretty sure they found the key to that lock at the bottom of the ocean with all that that cleanup they're doing down there at this point. That it's the most done deal of all time.
Yeah, and for me, what else do you need to see?
Today, I guess, was the last final test for me. And preseason will still matter a little bit, but you put him in a game situation, and it's not like, oh, he's just barely keeping up. He looks totally in the right position out there. So.
Magnifique.
It's not Le Parisien. It's not being old school. It's not being like stupid and old. Leadership is leadership. Character is character. It will always be a big part of hockey. It will always be part of a locker room. I don't care what people say, like, oh, no, it's important. And it's important. And you just watch him today. I watched him right there, right in front of us. A little face-off. We know. There was a lot of struggles last year at face-offs. All of a sudden, I think he beats Russ or something. It's an easy play. Puck goes in the corner, puck's out. 2 seconds later, you're on a breakout, you're gone. And that's what the Avs need. They need puck possession. It starts with face-offs. Forget about the leadership. That is so massive. But on top of it, you need a guy to win faceoffs. Mm-hmm. You need a guy to trust. You need a guy that's going to be there in key situations. Like I always say, you get stuck out there on an icing. I'm not worried. Pierre-Edouard Belmar's on the ice, and then they throw their first line. I'm not worried about it. I actually want it. I actually like it. Old school. Top line versus checking line. You know what I mean? He can still do it. I do believe we'll see it there on the preseason games. He's still got the pace. I agree with Rudo. I think this is a slam dunk.
No real need to talk about McKinnon or McCarr. They look great. They're exactly what you would think, and as expected, healthy, ready, good to go, looking solid. What do we think about Girard today?
Can I throw one more thing before?
You may.
Sorry, because I said to Rudo or AJ I was going to say it. I'm a big fan of splitting Nate and Mikko. I've said it last week on the show. Then you look at a day like today and you're like, man, like you see the cut above the rest, you know what I mean, of Nate with Mac and Joe Druin. Man, oh man, it's tough to split. I see it. I see where it's hard for a coach. You know what I mean? But I still like my point. But realistically, you're like, you know what I mean? Like maybe there's another way to do it. After you see them today, they're so good.
You talk about safety blankets. It
Yeah.
sure is.
That's my point,
It sure
yeah.
is nice to have a top 5 top line in the NHL.
Yeah.
And that even might be generous.
On Girard, I thought he looked really good today.
sorry.
But I do think Girard is in an interesting situation, particularly at this training camp. Because you look at some of the guys the Avs brought in. You look at an Eric Brannstrom. And you know what the Avalanche organization is telling Eric Brannstrom to do? They're saying, go watch Girard's tape, do exactly what he does, and you'll work great in our systems. So it's on. I don't know if I want to call it a leadership role or whatever you want, but he's a guy that other guys at this camp are going to be trying to emulate. And if you emulate what Girard did today, you're probably going to make the team.
I will say the one turnover that led to the goal against.
Not great.
Miscommunication with your goaltender, and
it's not as fun. Yeah.
plenty of credit to Nikolai Kovalenko for just bulldozing his way down the
He
ice.
looked great today, by the way.
on that
He looked good
forecheck.
today.
So.
He did look really
But Sammy
good
looked
today.
great. Sammy looks good. He looks so happy. Love to see him out there. Boy, oh boy. Man, oh man, I wish I could come back and skate like that. You know, it makes the game so much easier.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Come back, buddy. You could never skate like that.
God. Man, sorry, true. But it's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's so fun to. You take it for granted until you watch it up close here at Family Sports. It's like, man, oh man, he's an elite skater.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's great to watch.
Caught up with Sammy after the morning scrimmage, and we'll have more from him all week, but let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, no, I feel like when I came back last year, I was more myself, and that's why I kept focusing on the summer as well. And I feel very good right now, you know. Feel good on the ice, off ice as well. It's good to be back. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep going like I did at the end of the season last year. But like I said, you know, like I work hard this summer, like to be a better player, a better person as well. So yeah, that's gonna be my goal for this year, just being better for the team and make us win some games.
Sam, do you focus on anything in particular during camp? Like, is there anything when you come in, you're like, I'm going to do this throughout the course of it?
Well, you know, like I feel I'm very good at like getting the puck out, so like, you know, that's what I'm focusing on. You know, like I know how good we are like offensively, so if we spend less time in D zone, that's gonna help us. So yeah, you know, like I feel like just to be better in like every aspect of the game. That was my goal for the summer.
At this point in your career, do you look at things like I could add this to my toolbox, or do you just look at I've been doing these things well and that's what I'm going to stick to?
You know, like I just want to be a better player, like year after year. You know, like I want to bring more to the team. I want to help the team to win. So yeah, just to be better in every aspect of the game, defensively, offensively. So yeah, that's going to be my goal for this year.
Did you find helpful last year to tune out outside noise when you made your return and found a lot of success?
You know, just to focus on like what I can control. You know, like sometimes you just like focus about like something else. But yeah, you know, like when I came back, I was more myself. Like I said, everybody was supporting me as well, so that was helping me a lot. But you know, just to move my feet, I feel that's one of my quality on the ice, my speed. So that's what I'm going to try to bring the most this year.
All right, so that was Sammy Girard. More from him later on this week. One other guy to touch on, then we'll talk about the little fun at the end right there. But how about, only because we've been talking about him all week, not because he's my guy, how do we think Calvin DeHaan looked today in a real game speed situation?
Yeah, he was solid. I think there were, a couple of moments still where the Avs systems are a bit foreign to him, where he's like, oh, wait, you guys want me to carry this puck up the ice with my feet as a defenseman? Are you guys sure about But good. Again, I think realistically, role-wise on the Avalanche, you're looking at him as a replacement for Jack Johnson mechanically.
Right, yeah.
And he's consistently proven in his own end his stick is really good. He understands how to take the angles and make life tough for the offensive side of the puck.
Loved the fun. Loved the fun he seemed to be having too. He was smiles out there.
The things that are going to really make Calvin DeHaan very valuable to the Avalanche we haven't seen yet, because we're not doing PK. He's not mauling people in front of the net. And he's not bruising along the boards. All those different things. He's not blocking shots. Mm-hmm. You don't need guys getting hurt in camp.
No.
Take it easy, fellas. No. Other than Nikolai Kovalenko,
yeah, I will say,
has no take-it-easy switch.
He's got one speed. And shout out to Kovy. I know we're not talking about him, but had a shift in the scrimmage. Takes a shot off the ankle, goes down, gets up, goes full bore all the way down the ice, gets possession back. If that guy hasn't earned a real opportunity with the Avs, then nobody can. It's impossible.
His forecheck led to Ross Colton's goal.
Yep.
Who, by the way, very good today for Ross Colton. Mm-hmm. But anyway, with DeHaan, you just haven't seen those traits yet, because that's not what they're doing yet.
Don't start mauling Avalanche players.
Yeah, right. exactly. Like was Devontae Stevens blowing up Jason Megna the other day? You're like, I guess green is just a green light to smoke this guy, and everybody else is kind of like, don't do that.
No, Calvin, you know what? You know my saying. I say it all the time. Keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? And that's what he does. When you stick around the NHL that long, it's because you keep things simple. You stick in the way. You just said it. You make the first pass simple. I'm not worried about jumping up in the play. And as you know, I mean, it's kind of like, I'm not saying I'm worried about it. I'm saying you're right. It is eye-opening when you're here, like Josh Manson. Like, oh, God, what? I can go. You know what I mean? Like, so I think you're going to see that out of DeHaan as the season evolves. And, I like it. You know what? Again, I like leadership. I like veteran presence, as we saw yesterday. Well-spoken man, well-spoken character guy. I think they got a good one right there. They needed to. With Jack Johnson moving on, with Cogliano moving on, you're losing a lot of experience. I know I say it all the time. Experience is very important in winning.
I think that if you look at the departures of Jack Johnson and Andrew Cogliano as one-to-one replacements with Pierre-Edouard Bellemare and Calvin DeHaan, they replaced the intangibles and got better hockey players.
No, for sure.
The current.
No, without downgrading the other guys.
Of course.
Absolutely, you're right.
Just who they are in the NHL in this moment, they got better players, and they were able to effectively replace those intangibles.
Well said.
That's a really good piece of business for them.
Well said.
Fun at the end too. I liked that it was loose. I made the comment to you, and your wonderful mother came by and hung out with us today. Love Coco, big kids. Shootout at the end. I mean, we all loved that when we played hockey when we were little guys. I mean, I think it's just it was fun, and they had a little bit of fun with that. I think that was important too.
Speak for yourself.
It was loose. It was good.
Shootouts are terrible. I hate them.
They were just fun at the end of a game like that today.
No, it was fun.
I'm the hater. I'm the hater.
Crowd got into
hater.
it. The boys got into it.
I'm
They
the
were
hater.
tapping sticks and chirping each other. It was fun.
Sorry, go ahead.
It is fun to see.
It's fun.
This shootout just happened to go like 10 players deep on both sides. So it's cool to see some of the guys go out there that you would not normally see.
Had a really strong day, but Oliver Shillington comes flying
that
off
was
the bench, cruising down the ice, and then it slips off his stick, and both benches are giving it to him. It was a good time.
But that's my point.
Fun.
That was a good time.
I'm a hater of the shootout. You
I
guys
hate
know
the
that.
shootout.
It should never decide a hockey game.
I'm alone.
But
The shootout.
to have fun in practice,
alone.
Yeah, it's
to have fun in
great.
practice today, you saw the atmosphere, you saw the people in the stands.
great.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Hey, let's give them a show a little bit, right? For people that came all the way,
Yeah.
wherever
The
they came
crowd was
from,
packed.
and it was fun.
Packed.
And then I think one side had 5 posts or 6 posts.
Yeah, it was
so.
more chimes out there than anything.
Yeah. So and then Woody, like you said, that was awesome.
The hero.
Miles Wood, what a goal! We actually kind of caught up with him about it in the locker room after the game. This is what Miles had to say.
Just take me through that shootout goal. I had that in the bag.
Yeah, I'm not a shootout guy. Brought me back to my high school days for sure. But no, it was good. It was fun. Yeah.
What's it like just getting to go have a little bit more fun today? Obviously, training camp, drills the last couple of days. Get a little scrimmage, get a little shootout in there. Changes the feel, touch?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's nice to get some 5-on-5 play in. It was highly competitive scrimmage out there today. And it was good. It was good just to get the feet back. And, it's only day 3 here. It's a long process to the season, but we're all excited to be back and playing hockey again.
All right. I love Miles. It was funny. I think he got a kick out of us talking to him about it. A little dab at the end right there. If you haven't seen the goal, we do have it. It's up on our Twitter. So make sure you check that out, DNVR_Avalanche. And you can see that, of course, with all of our other cool content. There's a reason why we're the best Avalanche coverage in the city entirely, and it's stuff like that. And it's also stuff like this because Eric Brannstrom, nice enough to come on and give us an exclusive here on our set at Family Sports Center. And before we get to him, just what's our thought? I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but Brannstrom looks pretty good as well.
Yeah, the battle for, I call it the number 5, number 6 spot, whatever you want. It really is going to be him and Shillington battling it out for that. You have Malinsky in that mix too, but those two are the leading candidates for that. And Brannstrom's going to have an opportunity. He talked about it in the interview. You'll hear in a second here. He wants to open it up a little bit. He thinks of himself as a more Avalanche-style defenseman, and he's going to have that opportunity. So if he can keep up the solid play, we'll see what he's got.
All right, we caught up with Eric Brannstrom on our set for an exclusive from training camp here at Family Sports Center on the DNVR Avs Pod.
All right, here we are with one of the Avs' new addition, Eric Brannstrom. First of all, great to have you Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I always go, we always talk about when we get someone like yourself on the show, like on behalf of the alumni here, we always welcome guys to this beautiful city of Colorado. So to you and your lovely girlfriend, wife. Yeah, good for you. All right. Yeah. Welcome here. You know what I mean? And it means a lot. You're going to love it. Some of us were here in 96. And, boy, this is home for us and everybody we talk to. We always talk about their days in Denver. And I'm wishing you a very lengthy stay here. And hopefully this is home for a long time.
Yeah, hopefully. We love it so far, so it's been great.
I'll pass it along to AJ there.
When you hit free agency, it was kind of a bang thing. Ottawa let you know the day before. What were your priorities when you got into the free agent market about where you wanted to go?
The last couple of years here, it feels like I've been put in a spot in Ottawa that I like. It was a good spot, but I didn't play my game really. Got put into the third pair and played almost more defensive style than game. But I think when Colorado called, and I know how they play, and they're tough to play against. They're really offensive, and they got the D's involved almost every offensive zone start. So it's when they called and were interested, and I talked to my agent, and I think it was a pretty easy decision to come here and play for this team.
And you still have RFA status after this season, so this could be more than just 1 year. Is that something that you want to make this be your home for the next several seasons?
For sure, yeah. I signed here for a reason too. It's a great team, and of course I want to stay here. Play with all these superstars would be fun for a couple of years here. Yeah, would be really fun.
You mentioned the other day that you want to play your game. You want to get the puck up the ice to all the really good forwards that are here. How exciting is it that when you're out there in the setting like this morning where you're next to Cale Makar and next thing you know you have the opportunity to move pucks up to Nathan McKinnon, guys like that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, talked to my dad yesterday and told him I was gonna pair up with Makar and had McKinnon and those guys in front of me. So really cool. Was a little bit nervous in the start there, but they're great guys too, so they help a lot. So.
We talk a lot about Colorado's culture and just how their expectations are so high every day. What your time in Ottawa? Ottawa's kind of doing a rebuild and trying to get back to the postseason. Has there been kind of a culture shock for you coming here, where everybody shows up every day and it's very much about how do we get better? Because we're trying to win a Stanley Cup this year. Yeah,
of course. It's more of a rebuild in Ottawa. I think we're trying to push for playoffs the last 2 years here, but we haven't reached that. But when I got here, even I was here pretty early, and I could feel it right away when I got into the rink that everyone was really focused, and they have one goal this year, and it's great to be a part of this group, and everyone wants to get better every day. You are part of a very crowded blue line. Is it exciting to play on such a talented group? Do you like that competitiveness every day? Yeah, it's good to have competition back there. I think that makes everyone better. So it's great. Yeah. When you get out there on the ice, what would you say your game is? How would you describe your game to somebody who hasn't seen it? Try to move my feet, hold on to the puck, good first pass, and jump in the rush and try to create offense. How have you felt these first couple of days with your style meshing with Colorado style? I think you've been a good fit. Yeah, we haven't really played that much. It was the first time today, so it was it's kind of a lot to take in, all the video we have with the systems and everything. So today was I felt all right, but I think I can do better. Still pretty early, but these exhibition games will be good. Yeah.
We, your first year in Vegas, so I was doing, with Gizmo, one of our partners here, we were doing the Vegas Golden Knights. So you weren't there, but you were obviously a first-round pick with the original, Las Vegas Golden Knights. And I remember talking to Fopa, friend of ours, right, Peter Forsberg, and we were talking about you and saying how much you were going to be dynamic. And I got to be honest with you, this guy and this guy as an Avalanche podcast, they've been after you for years.
Yeah.
They've been wanting you to sign with the Avalanche
Yeah.
or make a trade with the Avalanche, and and I mean it. I mean so do I. Because I remember seeing you that first rookie tournament. You were dynamic. If you remember, was it in Vegas, the tournament? Your first rookie tournament was in Vegas, right?
Yeah, in Vegas. Yeah.
Suzuki got traded that.
Yep.
No, was that the year after? Or was that Suzuki? Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is, remember watching you. Remember effortlessly skating, and these guys have been saying it, and they're right. You are an Avalanche. You know what I mean? And knowing how they like to play here, and I'm going to put you on the spot here for a second, and you say you talked to your dad yesterday, you were excited about today. I'll tell you one thing. You were ready today. If you weren't here at Family Sports, the puck dropped, Makar got it, give it to this guy, up ice, scoring chance right away. You were ready.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we should expect from you this season. And I think that's why CMAC and Bednar and the Avalanche went and got you. So I thought it was awesome to see that today, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that from you this year.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to go back to just real quick your decision to come to Colorado in the first place. How much of a conversation did you have with your agent about the success in Colorado with guys who have been who have kind of struggled in other organizations and are trying to find their game and really find a long-term home in the NHL, and Colorado's success with guys like that in recent years?
Yeah. I've been talking to my agent there, even if I wasn't gonna be qualified by Ottawa, even before that, and I said if it happens, I think that this would be a good fit. And when they told me that I'm not gonna be qualified, he immediately called me and said they were interested, and he told me that's the best chance you're gonna get to come to a team that's is in the top, wants to win the Stanley Cup, and come and play there, and play my style of game. That's what I want to do and what I'm good at. So like I said before, I'm so excited to be here. I'm thankful too. So.
Did you get a recruiting pitch from Landeskog at all?
Not really, no. But he's a great guy. Yeah.
We talked to Oliver Shillington yesterday, who said that he had talked to you a little bit because he signed about a month after you.
Yeah.
What kind of conversations were those?
No, he was pretty late in here because all the visa stuff. But he's a great guy. It's nice to have. We're a bunch of Swedish guys that talks. Yeah, Belmar talks Swedish too. So
I was gonna say that's my next question. Hold on.
Yeah.
So we got the Finnish mafia there.
Yeah.
So they got
True.
Justus, Mikko, Lecky.
Yep, and Kiviranta.
That's 4.
Yeah.
Now there's Shillington. There's yourself. There's Gabe. And now, do we take Belmar as an honorary Swedish guy? Make it 4-4?
Yeah, he lives in Sweden too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was pretty fun story. My dad is from where he lives now, up north in Skellefteå. And we were always there in hockey camps, and he played for the pro team up there. And he came and had a discussion with us. We were small, and so really looked up to him, and now we play in the same team. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey, listen, hockey's a small world, and but we're gonna give it to you. We're gonna give you Belmar, make it 4-4. We're gonna make it 4-4. You know what I mean? We had a lot of French guys back then in the day, but I think now it's Finnish versus Swedish.
Got to get Gabe back. Got to get Gabe back for it to count.
No, Gabe counts. Gabe counts.
Yeah.
You got anything else? Are you good? Or
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, it's been great, and we wish you the best of luck. And like I said, a lot of people were happy when you signed here, and I think it's going to be a fantastic fit for yourself and the organization.
Yeah, hope so. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Hockey's such a family, and thank you big time for Brandy coming on, talking to us. That's awesome. We just love getting a chance to catch up with the guys one-on-one. Of course, Calvin did it, and tomorrow we'll have another exclusive for you that I'll talk to you about at the very end of the show, but we're looking forward to, of course, getting you guys that. We won't have a pod tomorrow, but we'll still have some content for you. I guess we can say it. Can I say it?
Yeah,
Sammy Girard's coming on tomorrow, so we get a chance to talk to him exclusively, and then of course, if there's anything else of a substance and consequence from tomorrow, we'll have that for you. We'll be on hand, but just giving you a heads up, we won't have a full pod for you. Then we'll be back in action with some stuff, of course, on Monday because they're actually playing a game at Ball Arena. I'm looking forward to it, and that'll be my first game of the year for y'all there, which is super cool. We talk about, and I will talk about it all the time, and I'm sure at some point you're going to give me crap about it in the chat, but hockey is such a family, and one of my favorite things about this sport is one of my favorite things in life, and you'll get to know this about me as y'all get to know me. I know y'all know these guys quite well, but I am a big be a good person. I believe in it firmly. We've all had our mountains to climb and our hills and our battles to fight, and I'm no exception to that. It's been an interesting life for me. It's been an interesting few years. And that's why one of the reasons I'm so thankful to be here and be a part of this. And, we talk about UC Health all the time and, Ready, Set, Go and mental and things like that. And I think I'm a firm believer if you can help somebody. If you can make somebody's life better, make somebody's life better. It takes no effort whatsoever just to be a nice person. And I know that we all believe in that here and we've all done it. And we had a chance yesterday to meet a new friend of the show. And we're gonna figure out how to bring him on a little bit more regularly because he's awesome. Young hockey player. Has had a little bit of a tough go of it. He's coming around right now, but this is a guy who can't play hockey anymore because of his situation. He wants to be a broadcaster, which I can relate to because that's exactly how I got into broadcasting. An injury knocked me out of it, and now it's this for a living, and I absolutely friggin' love it. But I want you guys to meet our new friend. We got a chance to catch up with him and talk to him a little bit, and he's probably taking our jobs at some point in the next 4 years, as he's made it abundantly clear when he's 16-year-old. This is Hunter. Back with you on the DNVR Avs fan. We got Gizmo. We got Rudo. We got Hunter Murphy. This guy's probably taking our jobs, Rudo, in, 2 years? Will you give me at least 2 years?
I think it has to be 4.5. I have to be 16.
See, that's my guy looking out for me right now.
Saved by the labor laws again.
Saved by the labor laws. Gosh, the number of times I've said that in my career. Hunts, you're a huge hockey fan, right?
Yep.
You played hockey. We talked about it. We got kind of the same story. Got injured. We'll talk about that in a second. And now you're switching gears. You want to kind of be in the broadcast world. So what kind of made you want to do that?
Well, I was in the booth with Riker and Mosier for Next Generation Night last year.
Remember it?
And that was just really, really fun. And when they told me I couldn't play hockey anymore, that's what I wanted to do because I want to just keep doing it so fun.
I remember watching you in the booth when you were on that Next Gen Night, and I'm like, well, I'm in trouble. There goes any chance I had at working in broadcasting if this guy's nipping at my heels. What's the experience been like so far? You haven't done too much stuff, but obviously you had that Next Gen Night. But what do you think about it so far? Do you want to be a play-by-play guy? Do you want to be a host? Do you want to be an analyst? What's the path?
I think I want to be a color commentator just because I can't talk that fast.
I know that
I'm
pain.
not
Yeah.
fast talker. I'm a fast reader, not talker. But
Well, you're doing just fine right now, pal. I'll tell you that.
Is there a particular Avs player you'd love the chance to get a call on? One particular?
probably Girard.
Ooh, I like that
Yeah.
answer. The guy gets not too many goals, so you got to find your spots for someone like that. You see some of these Avs top players. Is there a favorite move you have out there from one of the Colorado Avalanche players? Girard's got his spin, obviously, but
No, I think it's just Girard's spin. It's
All right.
really, really cool.
love it. Sammy, one of my favorites too. We call him La Tornade around here. So
You got a chance to meet Calvin DeHaan a little bit
Yeah.
today. You got a stick from Nate McKinnon that's autographed. What's it been like hanging out at training camp?
It's been really fun. I mean, just seeing everyone play, like Sean Barons and everyone play, it's really cool.
All right, now we know you had a little injury, and you were super cool to tell me all about it. And obviously, you're not shy about it, but it was a little bone cancer in your knee, and you're battling hard. Went through chemo, and we're doing good right now. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
we have like 11 weeks of chemo left, and I should be good.
okay, what are we doing? Do you remember what I told you we're doing
No.
during chemo?
You're gonna take me into the booth sometime?
Yeah, we're gonna go through some more hockey games. We're gonna bone you up on being a broadcaster a little bit. How's that sound?
Yeah.
All right. I know you want to get back out there and watch training camp, but tell me a little bit about who you were as a hockey player. You were a defenseman, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a defenseman were you?
I was kind of like Kilmacar. I would like to score goals, and I just was really fast, and I was the captain of my team last year, not the year before, but last year I was the captain.
We talk about this a lot on this podcast, and hockey is like this big brotherhood in this family, right? So if you play the game, you're already in it, right? That's why guys like Cal look out for you, and Rudo, and Eric Lacroix. And you can talk to me about your friend who's standing just beyond camera. I mean, he was one of your teammates, right? And
Yep.
hockey guy, and look at you guys just hanging out, chilling at camp together. What's that kind of mean to you? Do you feel the family in hockey?
Yeah, I always have a really close relationship with everyone on my team, especially like the goalies, and just it's great meeting new people, and I treat them like family once I meet them.
Anything else, Rudo?
I mean, I guess we should be calling you captain.
We will call him
at this
captain
point
from now
Yeah,
on.
it's
All
a
right.
Good mistake on our part. I'd like to play like Calum Ritchie too. That I wish
It seems to work out for me. He
yes.
seems like he's an okay hockey player. I mean, I don't know. I guess he's okay. I guess he's decent. He's won like a thing or two. Does he have like a trophy? He's got like one or two. I mean, he seems like he's a good player. We'll see how it pans out. It's early in training camp. Hopefully he sticks on the roster. Listen, buddy, we are big fans of yours. You promise you'll come back a couple times this season on the pod with us once it gets going? I'm going to put you to a test on this analyst stuff. I want to see if you're knowledgeable.
Okay.
All right. Hunter, thank you so much for being with us. This guy's a rock star. You're going to see him on the pod a ton. Friend of the pod. That makes him family. We'll see you next time.
Our friend Hunter.
He was awesome.
Good kid.
Confidence, too.
Awesome.
Confidence.
I remember a couple of years ago actually doing something with him. So good to see him again. Good to catch up. But speaking of good people, I mean, Devontae is one of the good guys. Good player on the ice, but great person. That's how you win championships. 25 sets of gears again.
That's
with the
awesome.
NHLPA Goals and Dreams at Ball Arena yesterday. So you know what? On behalf of the community, we'll say thank you to Devontae because it's important to have good people in the community for your organization, and Devontae is one of the best.
Culture. Coach talks about that. We're going to hear from him in just a moment. But first, we've got breaking news, AJ.
Yeah, so first reassignments of training camp. No surprises here. Neil Shea, Briley Wood, and Garrett Pike are off to the Colorado Eagles, and Max Curran is reassigned to Spokane of the WHL.
You never want to say anything, but when you don't see your name show up in the scrimmage, you kind of know, right? It's coming.
Yeah. There was a clear delineation between the two groups today of guys competing for NHL jobs, guys that might see NHL time this year, and guys that
probably won't.
Yeah, that's okay.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what, Curran?
Okay.
Max, he was awesome. I thought he had a great camp. I thought he was awesome.
Yep.
This is a guy to keep an eye on. They're going to obviously go back to juniors and obviously Klein of Alan Walsh. I think Max was outstanding for what he is at the part of the curve that he's at. You know what I mean? You're only going to see him go like this. And a special shout out to Shea, too, son of long-time Avalanche New England scout, Neil Shea. So, again, go look it up. Beanpot Trot.
He's watching this video every day. He walks into the office, the Beanpot Trot's on. Right?
Neil's the best.
Also, Coach, he's pretty good too. We had a chance to listen to him after today, and he's very insightful and he's very thought out with his answers. I've been doing this for quite a long time, and I really, truthfully enjoy Coach's press conferences because he gives the answers time. He's not in a rush to get out of there, and I really do love that about him, and I hope you do too. Because let's catch up with Coach B after that scrimmage this morning.
Shillington, with his immigration issues, coming in with new gear, do you assess him maybe a little softer?
Yeah, we'll give him a little bit of time for sure, I think. Just for that reason alone. But, I mean, he's been working all summer long. I mean, you're talking about maybe being a day or two behind, so we'll give him a little bit of time. I don't want to be too critical of a guy's player, if he's got a lot of stuff going on. It'd be nice to get him in his gear and get him feeling comfortable because it's a big difference for a player.
Change up the groups and kind of the structure of the day today? Was there, you just wanted to start simulating some more game-like situations?
Yeah, today, this morning, our third meeting of 5-on-5, they've been pretty in-depth. We've covered different areas of our system every day, multiple areas, and today was the final one. So they have all the information now. I thought a good scrimmage with the right amount of guys can be a really good workout instead of just doing 5-on-5 drills. Now you got to think in live, game situations, and you can see the guys that kind of pick it up. I thought the system work was really good. We checked hard. I mean, it's 0-0-1-1 at the end of the scrimmage of 37 minutes. So it was competitive, and we saw what we needed to see. You can see the guys that are picking up the systems and doing less thinking and more less reacting and just playing with their instincts. So it was a good day for that group. Now we have some extra guys we're going to probably need a little bit extra teaching, so we'll run them through a good practice here.
In putting Ritchie with Mittlestadt, did you see anything different having a more experienced player and in a game setting from Ritchie to better evaluate where he stacks up against NHL talent?
Not yet, but I think, Ritchie's a talented guy, right? Like he has the ability to create offense. We saw it in rookie camp. We saw it last year with him. That's why we drafted him. So I'm trying to put him with some of the more talented guys on the ice. That's a group that he's been playing with. Today it's Mittlestadt. It's another guy that, they think the game similarly. They play a give and go game. They're good passers. So it's always nice just to and he got a little bit break from playing center today, playing the wing, which would be new to him, but trying to get him reps against top competition, guys like Mac, Mikko, I think is good for him. That's the guys that he'd have to play against in our league. So to play him with a guy like Mitty and have them try to still be able to create offense and do a good job defensively against stiffer competition is always a good thing.
What are your goals at this time of the year? Like, what markers do you want to hit that are significant this week, next week?
Yeah, well, it starts out with making sure everyone knows how we want to play, how exactly we want to play, and you want to see those details tighten up over the course of training camp. Not just the first couple days. That's a lot getting thrown at them the first couple days, but you can see the guys that are starting to process it quicker than some other guys and still be able to excel and do the job on both sides of the puck. And then you expect that to get better as a group. We'll be cutting players down based on, how they perform through training camp. And so you should see, every area of your game get better throughout the course of camp. They get more reps at it. Some guys take a little bit longer. Again, it's just you're evaluating them along the way, but we have a significant length of time here for training camp, and ultimately as we start making cuts, the guys that sort of figure it out the best and we feel it can help us the most in different situations will stay.
Can guys make an impression now that you say, okay, I'll remember that here in 6 weeks or 2 months, or that's
yeah, no question.
That matters.
Now, in this league, you got to earn it every day. But I'll use this one player as an example. I thought Kovalenko was outstanding yesterday. He scored as many goals as probably the whole rest of the group combined, just in competitive drills and 5-on-5 drills. Put a lot of pucks in the back of the net, did some good things. Comes out for scrimmage today. I can see some areas of weakness that I want to talk to him about, but he was also outstanding again. Big block shot, couple really good forechecks. One creates a turnover, leads to Colton's goal. I mean, those things I'm not going to forget about. Now, he's going to have to continue to earn it every day, but I would say that he's just based on the last couple days, we're 3 games in, that he has a leg up on some guys because he's showing, flashes of things that I think he can do in regular season. Now, if he dropped off a cliff here in the next couple days, then and someone else elevated, you got to take that into consideration too. But he's basically, in my opinion, we're starting on Monday. We're going to do some special teams tomorrow. He's earning himself a spot in exhibition games. If he plays well, then he'll get more exhibition games. And the better you play through training camp earns you games. The better you play in exhibition games earns you more exhibition games. I've got a template saying I got to probably see these guys in a handful of games to be fair. But when it comes down to it at the end, the guys that earn those games are going to get them. I don't care if they're brand new to our organization, if they're 18 years old, or if they're 27 years old, or if they're a veteran player. We got to go with the guys that are getting the job done.
That block that you just mentioned from Kovalenko got a big reaction from the bench. Guys willing to sell out like that in training camp, does that go a little bit extra weight, not just with you guys, but
yeah,
with their players?
100%. Because we've talked about it already. We've talked about our D-zone coverage and some of the sacrifices you got to make, and you know, like that was an obvious one. He's getting out, and he could have just let the shot go through the net. But I mean, if he's showing he's willing to do it in a day 3 scrimmage, and I'm sure he's going to be willing to do it when you know, regular season starts.
Is it you guys led the league in goals last year, or
What's that?
You guys led the league in goals last year?
Yes.
Is there more of an emphasis on the defensive side of things in this camp than in last year or 2 years ago?
No.
Or 3 years ago?
I think, like, well, I shouldn't say that. Like, we want to continue to do what we've done offensively. It seems to be a little bit more natural to our team. Like, we're finishing in the top 5 every year, and goals scored, chances created, ozone time, you name it. Partly because of our talent, the way our guys want to play. But, you know, over the years, we've been a really good defensive team, okay? And then last year, we fell off a little bit, even from where we were the year before, and I felt like we were probably a better, more complete team last year, especially in the second half after the deadline. But some of our numbers didn't you know, that didn't indicate that. So some of the things that, like, when you look at our team, I'm always evaluating it against the rest of the league, and like, we feel like we're a contender, and we want to make sure our numbers say that, like, that we're just not, like, it's we have to prove that, right? And some of our defensive numbers were really good, okay? And then others, we have, like, if we're sitting at 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, like, that's league average, and we want to make sure we're pushing to be top 5, top 10 for sure in a lot of those situations. So we've talked to our guys about it already, and you know, so I like to see the guys digging into that area. I liked their scrimmage today. It was competitive. It was tight checking. It wasn't, you know, there wasn't a ton of scoring chances for. We want the offense to come, but I'm pretty happy with the way they competed and sort of bought into the system and listened to what we feel like is important this time of the year, because we got to be good on both sides of the puck.
I talked to Sam Girard today, and he mentioned not necessarily wanting to add something to his toolbox, but just being a better overall player, and that's his focus. Do you talk to a guy like that about how, like, the second half of his season went and what he was doing well and not trying to do too much?
Yeah, I think all the guys, like, through the course of, and I'm not sitting down, like, I don't have 3 guys structured today, 3 guys. I've talked to some guys already about last year and already talked to them about their first couple days of training camp, what we want to see. Where, like, really, it's like, what is our goal come drop of the puck regular season for them as an individual, for our team, where I see it sorting out, because I want them to be clear on their role. I also have some areas for a lot of those guys that I want them to, like, I want to explore expanding their role, right? And the more guys we have that can penalty kill, play power play, you know, be trusted in certain checking situations, be trusted to help create offense. And for some guys, it's just doing what they do more consistently. Like, if I think it's a consistency issue, then I talk to them about that, you know. I try to, as a staff, we try to lay it out as clear as possible for the guys so they know exactly what their expectations are and how I'm going to evaluate those expectations. I'm not going to say, like, well, he didn't do it today, so he can't do it. Like, there's a building process built in there.
Bednar has brought up his age in wanting to show the organization that he can still keep up with pace. In the brief meetings that you have seen, how would you evaluate it?
Yeah, I think he looks good. Yeah, clearly, I mean, he went to work this summer. You know, it's an Olympic year, you know, 4 Nations year. There's Olympic evaluation going on for next year. Last year, a little off year for him. But, like, all the things that we expect out of Belly from him being here before, and as a veteran guy, he's shown, and he's skating pretty well. He's moving well. Like, we got a pretty fast group, and it doesn't look like it's too fast for him right now. So I think he's had a good first 3 days. Like, we know some of the things that he brings, plus the intangibles. Yeah, he's gonna push for a spot. You know, like, if you want a spot on this team, regardless of where you were drafted or what your circumstance of being here, I said it before, you're gonna have to earn it. You know, I think people that watch our organization or get frustrated that, well, why aren't we giving this kid a chance or that kid a chance? Like, come and earn it. Some of them have been here a year and some of them have been here 5 years, but Like, this is the best league in the world, and if you want to play on one of the best teams in the best league in the world, then you have to expect to earn it, just like our motto in the playoffs. Like, you're going to have to expect to play your best game if you want to win a hockey game in the playoffs, and that's what we're all gearing up to do.
Last one's Nick.
Coach, I love seeing you talk about Bednar and the veteran and the leadership. It was awesome seeing him working with Ritchie on faceoffs for about 15 minutes afterwards. I'm sure that's something that you're hoping continues also, maybe even encouraging.
Yeah, well, I think, and there's multiple examples of that. But you got a guy, he's willing to share his knowledge. I mean, he understands that Ritchie's an important player to our team. He's a young guy. If he can give him any tricks to the trade that help him. And they do a lot of that talking on the bench, like holding court on the bench after shifts, and that is what you want to see. You want them to be, you want all of your team to sort of take an active role in our success, right? So sharing that knowledge is key. You see, like, even you look at Mac last year when Drew got here. He's not just out there with Drew because, Drew's his buddy from junior. He wants to help make him better. They want to make sure they're on the same page. Like, this is something I'm working on. Do you want to come work on it? And it's happening all over. It happens on the ice. It happens off the ice as well. It's a good culture that these guys have built here, that's trying to push to the next level, and it's hungry to succeed. And one of the ways you do that is you stay hungry to improve as an individual and as a team, and so they're constantly sharing information. It's a good leadership group here. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Good stuff from Coach, as always, and I was glad that we were able to talk to him. I'm always excited to talk to him because I do think he's very insightful, and he had some good stuff to say there.
Yeah, Bednar, I don't think he gets enough credit for being an incredibly intelligent coach, and not just for the hockey stuff, but he always gives very in-depth answers when it comes to pressers and things
he
like
wants
that.
to be there, which I love. I love that. Like, he's engaged and he's thoughtful on his answers, and he's a very smart hockey mind.
His lack of contempt for the media is noticeable. And it's obviously from our perspective, it's appreciated that we can ask him questions and he'll have a conversation about it, and it's not, he's not going to look at you with the daggers and be like, that's the stupidest question I've ever heard, or he's going to give you a one-word answer, something like that. I mean, he gets edgy sometimes, but it's rare, and it's always appreciated.
Charming man, smart hockey mind. Avalanche lucky to have him as their guy.
Yeah, we do have one super chat here from the chat before we wrap up. Brandon asks, how do you guys fix our cap situation when Landy is back? What do you see the plan being? So, if you can see that in the crystal ball, let us know, because it's still a big question mark between Landy and Val. In a world where Landy and Val both come back, they have a work to do.
Yeah.
But if it's only one of them, they're kind of okay. It's tight, don't get me wrong, but they don't have to really do a whole lot of juggling if Landy doesn't come back until much later, or, obviously the Val situation, who knows? Does he get cleared or not? I don't know.
Unfortunately, it's just impossible to answer because we don't have a timeline certainly on Landy. And, Val is eligible for reinstatement in mid-November. It doesn't mean he's going to be reinstated in mid-November. Right. There are still so many hurdles to clear in both of those situations. We just don't know. And you've played however many NHL games by that point. You don't know what else has happened. Remember last year, it looked like Arturi Lehkonen broke his neck.
And he was fine,
Yeah, and then, 35 games later, he's back out on the ice. Yeah. You just don't know what kind of obstacles, you don't know what situation you're going to be in when that time arrives, and right now, it's just impossible to plan for. There's a reason the Avs hired a cap specialist in this offseason, because it was like, McFarland was probably like, C-Mac looked at it and was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of it.
It's worth. Even if both Val and Landy were back game one, which is impossible, the Avs would only be about $2.5 million over the cap. So you prorate that, at very least, Nichushkin can't come back before November 13th. That's about $1 million off of his deal. So then both were back on that date, they'd only be like $500K because you're prorating Landy's deal as well. They'd have to move a little bit of money, but it wouldn't be like major surgery that they're doing.
Carry the 2.
Yeah, and 4. I mean, honestly,
you're almost there.
Is that where the Pythagorean theorem comes in place?
Not this time.
God.
Landy squared plus Val squared equals trade Colton squared or something?
only in the locker room, buddy.
1 and 2 is 3, 4. Pythagorean theorem, right? Yeah, heard of that.
Oh,
thing.
that's my big word.
Yeah, that's a big
Make
one.
me look intelligent.
What's the other big word you've been using today?
Lugubrious.
One who avoids duty by faking illness. No, is that it?
I don't.
No, that's not it. No, that's
now we're just making.
That's the other big word.
That's the other big word. I know the
big
definition.
words.
Don't know the word.
I'm proud of you, though. Proud of you. I'm always proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Tired,
Proud of you.
tired.
Kip, proud of you.
Proud of you, Giz.
Yeah, thanks. We're going to say goodbye, though, I think, eh? You guys okay? You pretty good?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, tomorrow?
I got it back.
Oh.
A malingerer is one who avoids duty by faking illness.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
what I know.
Oh,
Lugubrious is
what did you say?
Malingerer.
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 My teacher said that. I was like, they want to come to class, and I said, gave her the SAT word, and she's like, you don't even know what that means. I said, yes, one who avoids duty by faking illness. She kicked me out of class. But, sorry, Miss White. It's true story.
Remember, I had a bad teacher story, too. We won't tell it on here, though.
I did too, actually.
There's one. Yeah. You know what? I actually will tell. I will tell real quick. It was my high school journalism class.
Oh wow.
High school journalism class, and I was already writing for like the local paper, and she told me I wrote an article that she didn't like, and I walked into class, and it was on the whiteboard, and she had she'd probably gone through an entire red marker marking up this article.
Yikes.
And made me an example in front of class and told me that I would never make it in media. Yeah, well, 29 years later.
Where is she now?
What's up, Miss Nagy?
We all have
got him.
I guess we all have a thing.
Yeah, that's all right. We all have a thing. But you know what you can do at the end of the day? Be a good person. I want everybody out there that watches, go out there and do something nice for somebody today. Make somebody's life better. It doesn't have to be this over-grandiose thing, but go do something nice for somebody this weekend. How about that?
Boom.
Sound good? All right, guys. Do it. We'll see you tomorrow, kind of. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. If you're not a diehard yet, make sure you sign up for that. We've got great content coming for you this weekend. A ton of cool stuff on Twitter. And by the way, we got to talk to Coco.
We just went up on our Twitter.
Awesome. Okay, so the First Lady of Colorado Avalanche Hockey, caught up with her just a little bit, just to talk about legacy in the community and how much it means to the Lacroix family. Mom did a good job. She was good. I was proud of her.
She was great. It's good to see her.
Yeah, nice to have Mom.
And then they did the pro shop.
Oh, are those mine? Did they sharpen them?
Those are Rudo's skates. They sharpened them, and he can be ready for his beer league game tonight.
Those look good.
Who's older, bud? You or the skates?
No, you.
Oh,
they fixed your strap. Or you'll be ready to go tonight.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
No.
Hate our
Break an
energy on this
ankle
pod today is
immediately.
You would break an ankle with these things. I mean, they're.
Oh my God.
It's got a little curve to it, too. You're going to be moving right. You're going to be moving right the entire time.
Why is Rudo going right? Can't turn left.
Can't turn left. I can't turn left. I'm an Abby Turner. That's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the love. All y'all come up and said hello. We're here again tomorrow. By all means, come by and say hello. We love it. They love it. I'm the new guy, but I'm getting used to it. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.